Hello, everyone. Today I am talking to Mary Jo Pollack, who is in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, Mary Jo. How are you today?
Hi, Brune. Good morning.
Good morning. You are 2 hours before me, so it's earlier where you are.
Right, right.
So you are going to be telling a story on the show this coming Sunday, December 13th, on the theme of DNA. And I wanted to ask you how you discovered personal storytelling. When did that happen?
I moved to Tucson in 2014, and I had several friends that lived here, and one of my friends invited me over for brunch shortly after I moved here, and one of her guests was Penny Starr, who started Odyssey Storytelling in Tucson, and she was telling me about it since, I was new to Tucson, so I just went to one of the events, and I continued to go, and I met people, and I thought it was interesting. And one day I just was telling a friend of mine who also is friends with Penny an anecdote, and she said that would be a good story for Odyssey. And I'd never really thought about, I'd sort of thought about telling a story, but I wasn't focused on any of the themes. And then I thought about it, and so I pitched it, and I told a story, and then I can't stop.
Yeah, that's a common side effect of it. Like you do it once, and then you're like, okay, I gotta do it again. So how did it feel that first time?
It felt really good. I have had a lot of experience being on a stage with a microphone from doing training in for different companies that I worked for. And also when I was a little kid, I took elocution lessons, and we had to do recitals about twice a year.
Okay.
I'm sure the audience was all parents, but from a young age, I was used to being on a stage with a microphone.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it
And
was not completely outside of your comfort zone.
No, not at all.
Yeah. What
The
about?
part that was a little nerve-wracking was not having notes.
Mm,
Just telling a true personal story completely from memory. But
yeah.
when you're telling your own true story, you know it.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true.
that just took the nerves away.
That's good. So what would you say is your process when you think of a story or when you think you want to tell a story?
Oh, it's evolving. Lately, I've been if I have an idea for a story, I might jot down a few notes so that I trigger my memory as far as some high points that I'd want to mention. And then on my phone, I use the voice recorder and I just talk.
Mm.
And then I listen to it and I go, no, yes, no. And then I do it again. And so usually, for example, the story that I'm telling for you on Sunday, the first time I recorded it, it was 22 minutes, and then it was 11 minutes or 13, and then I just keep refining it.
Right.
And when I get it down, I take a 3x5 card. I always know my opening and my ending, and then I put down my bullet points, and I'll have that. It's like my Charlie Brown security blanket. But I rarely look at it, but just the act of writing it down kind of reinforces it.
Mm.
And so I
Right.
do less writing and more recording than I have in the past. I used to just write it. I never read it, but I would write it to get it in my head. Now I record it to get it in my head.
Mm. Oh, that's so great. I should start doing the same. I always write. This is mostly what I do. I write the stories and then I rehearse from there. I think because it's not my English is not my first language, so I really have to make sure I say what I mean. But I think I'd be interested in trying to record myself. Okay, this year 2020 is almost coming to a close, which is great. It needs to come to a close. And so it has changed a lot of things. In particular for us, the storytelling scene, if I can call it that. And so have you told stories in front of your computer this year?
Yeah, dozens.
Oh, yeah. In what kind of?
It's been in several formats, mostly is Zoom, and I think I like the Zoom format best because you can see that there is an audience, even though it's not in the same room with you. But I've done it where I've had to tape myself and send a story. I've done it where somebody taped me and then they linked it all together. They linked it together to make it be a show.
Right.
I think maybe something was on Facebook Live, but mostly it's been Zoom.
Yeah. So how did it feel the first time you told a story behind your computer?
Well, I was glad to be telling a story, but it's a little weird because you don't, everyone's on mute, so maybe you can sometimes see in the little squares if they're laughing or if they have some reaction, but
Yeah.
I really miss that, immediate reaction of the crowd if it's surprise or laughter,
Yeah.
and the applause. We all miss the applause.
Yeah. And so I think you're part of a group that gathers every week. Is that right?
Yes, we call it the swap shop, and everybody's working on stories, different kinds of stories, moth stories. There's the person who started the swap shop, Sean. He also started something and called the 99-second story slam. So he makes it competitive, and so we work on 99-second stories. We talk about just like maybe a concept or an idea that's been milling around in your head, and then get feedback from people if it seems story worthy or not. And we discuss storytelling, what makes a good story. If someone's been to a show, they might mention somebody that they thought was really good or really bad.
Yeah.
And because you learn from the storytellers, you learn sometimes what not to do by watching somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That's
then
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how I found them exactly. I was Googling storytelling in April or May, and because I was craving it, and and then I ended up finding them, and I thought, oh, this is a cool group, and it's very safe. I went to an art college, and I felt like it was art critique in a way where it's a safe environment. You get feedback to improve your work.
Yeah.
And it just parallels that to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Writing groups.
Or a writing group, right.
Yeah. And so you are like all across the country. I believe there's some people outside of, like some people in Canada, one or two people.
Right. That pop in. You're welcome to pop in anytime. And it's all time zones. All time zones are represented for the United States, and we have people that pop in.
That's so great. Yeah.
I'd say there's about a dozen people that are in the core group and other people that just come occasionally. And so like we're meeting later today, and there could be 4 people or there could be 9. And just whoever is available that day.
So the group is it Grit?
Oh, well, it's called the Swap Shop.
Okay.
But Sean he's developing a storytelling under the brand of Grit, where he's got podcasts and other storytelling things, about a half a dozen different things that he's doing under the heading of Grit.
Okay, so I'll put a link or two down below the video so people can find that if they're interested in joining.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Also,
it would direct them to other good storytelling events that he does, like on mental health, and he's passionate about certain things. So
yeah, Well, I'm so glad we connected, Mary Jo. It's such a great community, and it's so easy. It feels so easy to just reach out to one another and do things together, even though we're in various, different places. Um, so that's great. Is there anything you want to add before we say goodbye?
No, I'm just glad that through my swap shop that your name was mentioned and that I went to your event last month, and I'm really glad that I made the connection to you.
Yay! Okay,
Yay.
great. Well, so everyone tune in this Sunday, December 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern to hear Mary Jo's story on the theme of DNA, and there will be 6 storytellers. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks, Mary Jo.
Thank you, Brune.
Bye.